Hello, and welcome to part two of the Liberal Studies presentation of the Multiple Subject Credential Program. This is intended for Liberal Studies students at CSUOB. If you have any questions, you can contact us in the Student Success and Advising Center, or SSAC. For drop-in availability, make sure to check our Liberal Studies website. Just Google CSUOB Liberal Studies to confirm our drop-in availability. We are located in EED 18. This is the phone number. Currently, a drop-in availability is in person Monday and Tuesday in the afternoon, 1 to 4 p.m. And Wednesday, Thursday via Zoom, 1:30 to 4 p.m. No drop-ins on Fridays. If you have any quick questions, you could just send us an email at ced-libst@csub.edu. So again, this is part two, and we'll go over how to apply to the MSCP. So first step, what you will do is Google CSUB MSCP. You can actually just access it on your MyCED if you already have access to that. But if you don't have access to that, you could just Google CSUB MSCP. Click on this here. And if you are a liberal studies student that are pursuing the BA only, and you are then going to pursue the credential as a post-baccalaureate, then you will have to reapply to CSUB. So keep in mind, ITEP students do not have to reapply to CSUB. Only students that are pursuing the BA only without the credential must reapply to CSUB. So if this is you, that you need to reapply to CSUB because you're pursuing the BA only without the credential, click on applying to CSUB. You'll see the deadlines here. It is recommended that you apply to CSUB way before this deadline because this could take 4 to 6 weeks before you then get access to register. So it is highly recommended that if you are reapplying to CSUB as a post-baccalaureate, then you want to apply, I would say, by March 1st, the latest, if you're applying for the fall term. And if you're applying for the spring term, I would say October 1st, the latest. This is, again, if you're reapplying to CSUB to pursue the credential as a post-bac, you want to register earlier because you will be registering after all continuing students. So you want to make sure you submit the CSUB application earlier to get the earliest date possible to register. You're going to be registering after ITEP students at least 1 month later. So you want to make sure you get the CSUB application in as soon as possible. And then these other instructions on reapplying as a post-baccalaureate. Now, this is, again, the CSUB application. And this is only required for post-bac students. If you're an ITEP student, you do not have to do the CSUB application. Everybody must submit the MSCP application. So MSCP, if you're an ITEP student, you are submitting the MSCP application in yours by the end of the term you complete 90 units. If you are doing the liberal studies BA only without the credential, and you are reapplying to CSUB for the credential, and you need to submit the MSCP application the semester before you want to start the program. So say, for example, you are doing the BA only, you're graduating, and you want to start then the credential program the semester after you complete your BA, after you graduate, then you want to submit the MSCP application the semester before. So if you're graduating in spring and you want to start the credential in fall, then you submit the MSCP application and the CSUB application in the spring term. Again, if you're ITEP, you are submitting this application by the end of the term you complete 90 units. If you're a transfer student, that is typically by the end of your second semester. So liberal studies transfer students are supposed to submit the MSCP application by the end of their second semester. So this is the MSCP application. Scroll down and you'll see you need to do a candidate interview. Make sure you contact the SSAC to set up the interview. Give us a call or stop by in person just to set up the interview. The interview can be done before or after submitting the application. So keep in mind, interviews are only available for that semester. So you'll see here, interviews only take place March, April, May for the spring term, and then October, November, December for the fall term. So say, for example, you need to submit your application by December 1st. You may have to submit the application first, and then say your interview is on December 10th. So again, you could do the interview before submitting the application, or you could do the interview after submitting the application. You just make sure you are doing the interview during these months. Okay. Excuse me. So you'll see here the program admission requirements. The application again is on MyCED. For the GPA, you need at least a 2.75 within your last 60 units or a 2.67 overall. These requirements are listed on the application itself. And so you'll see here is a checklist of items, your personal statement, describe why you have chosen teaching as your career, what you hope to accomplish as a teacher, and how you view the role of the teacher. So don't get too caught up on the personal statement. You just need to go over that. They're not expecting a lot from your personal statement, so don't worry too much about that. You must provide unofficial transcripts from each school you've attended. So if you're a transfer student, you will have to submit unofficial transcripts from those institutions, including, you'll see here, CSULB. So make sure you submit all unofficial transcripts, so you don't have to pay for anything. You just need unofficial transcripts. Negative TB test. This is valid for 4 years. If you do a chest X-ray, it's valid for 8 years. Subject matter competence. If you're in liberal studies at CSULB, you do not have to submit this, especially ITEP students. You don't have to worry about it. So again, liberal studies students won't have to worry about the subject matter competence. Okay. And that's, again, liberal studies students at CSULB only. If you're doing the BA only and coming back for the credential as a postbac, your bachelor's degree, it will prove that you are subject matter competent because your degree is in liberal studies. The certificate of clearance, or CTC clearance, a screenshot is all you need from the certificate of clearance or for the certificate of clearance. I'll show you the applicant recommendation form. And you'll need the final filter evaluation, clinical practice evaluation for if you took et al. 200 or the equivalent from your community college, or you took it here. If you took et al. 380, you could also use, or you can also use et al. 300 as well for the practice or final filter evaluation. All right, so let's go now to MyCED. And you'll click on where it says Initial Teacher Credential Program Applications. And I already have mine available for Spring 26. But if you don't have anything here, you will click on where it says Apply. And it's available by term. So right now, if you have it listed as Fall 26 during this day and time, the Fall 26 application for the MSCP is currently not open. So you have to make sure you have the correct term. And so right now for the application is open for Spring 26. So click on that there. And then yours will end up coming up here for Spring 26 MSCP. Okay. That's if you don't have it over here. Okay. So I've opened it. So that's why mine's showing here. But again, if you don't have it here, just click on apply. Make sure you're selecting the correct term that you are applying for. And if you're trying to apply for Fall 26 for the MSCP, it's not open, at least right now. But depending on when you're watching this video, you want to just, again, make sure you're selecting the correct term that you're applying for. And the application is only open during that period, during a certain dates for that application term. So right now it's open for Spring 26. If you're doing Spring 26, right now you can submit MSCP, click on the MSCP here. All right, so mine's already open. Just click on open. And so mine, I'll have to, since I've already been on it, I'll have to click on edit. All right. So you'll select the term, or excuse me, the program here. You'll click here. If you're doing ITEP or postbac, you're just going to select which one, right? So if you're doing postbac traditional, postbac BELA, postbac you teach, or if you're doing ITEP traditional, ITEP BELA, ITEP BELA Spanish, you teach, whichever one that you're doing, make sure you select it. There's various options for postbac or ITEP. So then you'll put your personal information here. You indicate your liberal studies, bachelor's degree, CSUOB, and you'll put bachelor's degree, so highest degree earned or in progress. You'll put bachelor's degree here. Again, liberal studies, CSUOB. And here you're going to have to list all your other institutions that you've attended, any community colleges or universities. You will also have to upload your transcript. So again, you'll see here, beginning with the most recent, list all colleges, community colleges, and universities attended, including CSUB, and upload unofficial transcripts for each institution attended. So again, you will have to submit or upload unofficial transcripts from CSUB as well as any other college or university that you attended prior. To add more, you'll see here where it says add college university. And then if you attended more colleges, just keep adding here to the number of schools that you attended. Number 3, experience information. Do you hold a valid California teaching credential? No. You would put no here for everybody. And then here for it says self-assessment of professional disposition. Click on this blue link. And here you're just reading from left to right which behavior best describes you. So does 1A best describe you? Does 1B best describe you? Or does 1C best describe you? And so you're going to go from left to right for 1, 2, 3, all the way, 1A, 1B, 1C, 2A, 2B, 2C, and so forth. Then you're going to follow this at the bottom. Based on your ratings, this several goals for your personal development. Okay. And that is for the disposition form. Here again, for subject matter competency, liberal studies students, you will not do this number 5. You don't have to worry about this. You're going to be fine. Now, if you got your liberal studies degree years ago and you're coming back for the credential now, your unofficial transcript will show that you have your liberal studies degree now and you're good. Okay. Actually, it says if meeting by degree, no upload needed. So liberal studies students, don't even worry about this here. Again, that's liberal studies students at CSUOB. And then GPA review. This is if you are not sure that you will have the minimum GPA. So this is the overall, that's the total. But say you're not sure if you have the 2.75 within your last 60, you can request a review so that they can evaluate your transcripts to determine if you have the 2.75 within your last 60. And then here, if you've already done field work, this will show green that's already been done because this is tied to your, this is on my CED. So if you've uploaded your TB test and certificate clearance because you're currently doing field work or have done field work in the past, this will show green. If you have not, then you need to upload that. Number 6, personal statement. Again, this is the personal statement. Just describes what's your reason for wanting to be a teacher, what's your motivation, any experiences you have. And it's just describing it, why you have chosen teaching as your career, how you view the role of a teacher. And you see here, the essay must include your name, campus ID number, and the date. You upload that here. Recommendations. So recommendations, all you're providing is the first and last name and their email address. And so please remember that family members or any EDL instructors and demonstration teachers for EDL 200, 380, or 300 clinical practice are not accepted recommenders. All candidates must have one recommendation and the final filter evaluation for EDAL 200 and EDAL 380. So for recommenders, it doesn't have to be an education. Or if you want, it could be a teacher, an advisor, a counselor, but it cannot be any EDAL instructor. That's the instructors here at CSULB or any of the demonstration teachers that you did your fieldwork hours in for EDAL 200, 380, or 300. Um, if you work at a restaurant, for example, or a clothing store, it could be your manager, supervisor, coworker, that could be your recommender. Now, if you don't have your final field evaluation for EDAL 200 or EDAL 380 or EDAL 300, then you will need two recommenders. So I would recommend that you notify your recommenders prior to putting this information, make sure that they are aware. So what will happen is you'll put their name and email address, first and last name. And if you don't have a final field evaluation, again, you need two recommenders. And so they will get a link that will be sent to them where they'll fill out information on your behalf. So they don't have to submit a letter of recommendation. They will be sent a link to them for filling out a recommendation form on your behalf. Clinical practice evaluation. So again, this is if you're enrolled in EDAL 200, 300, EDAL 200, 300, or 380, and they say you don't have or you're requesting the final field evaluation, you'll fill this out and you will request that they do the final field evaluation for you. Okay. And this is if you already had the final field evaluation, you just upload it here. Okay. And that's it. So this is the MSCP application. Again, if you have any questions, just check CSULB SSAC, and that's the Student Success and Advising Center. Or also you just want to Google liberal studies. So liberal studies, go on our website, and you could check in our drop-in advising in person or via Zoom for any questions you may have. All right. You have a good rest of your day, everybody, and take care.